a rear area location in Russian-occupied eastern Ukraine, approximately 20 kilometers behind frontline positions. Small town with several administrative buildings, residential structures, and infrastructure serving as logistics and command hub for Russian forces operating in sector. Russian Battalion headquarters was established in former school building, two-story structure with classrooms converted into offices, command center, communications room, and staff working areas. Building was selected for command post due to solid construction, available space, and location near main supply route. Russian battalion command staff consisted of 34 officers occupying headquarters building. Composition included battalion commander, lieutenant colonel with 23 years military service, commanding approximately 600 soldiers in Combined Arms Battalion Task Group. Staff officers included operations officer planning tactical missions, intelligence officer analyzing enemy capabilities, logistics officer coordinating supply and maintenance, communications officer managing radio and data networks, plus specialized staff for artillery coordination, air defense, engineering, medical services. Company commanders periodically visited headquarters for briefings and coordination. Ukrainian reconnaissance drone, commercial quadcopter modified for military surveillance, was conducting routine patrol mission monitoring Russian rear areas. Drone operator flying from Ukrainian position 32 kilometers distant, controlled aircraft remotely observing terrain through live video feed. Mission was standard reconnaissance. Identify Russian military activity, document vehicle movements, locate potential targets for future engagement. Operator was experienced sergeant with 8 months drone operation time and sharp attention to detail. Poll: what's most valuable target for precision strike? A. Enemy command post. B. Ammunition depot. C. Artillery battery. Comment targeting priority assessment. 6 days after Ukrainian HIMARS strike destroyed Russian battalion headquarters, operational impact would be catastrophic. 34 Russian officers killed in building collapse, entire battalion command staff eliminated, including battalion commander and all primary staff positions. Russian battalion would operate without effective command structure for 6 days. Subordinate company commanders attempted coordinating operations but lacked battalion-level perspective and authority. 2 planned Russian operations would fail completely due to inadequate command and control. Battalion unable to execute complex operations without staff planning and coordination. Estimated cost to Russian forces, $44 million, including officer casualties, failed operations, and degraded combat effectiveness. Ukrainian strike cost $504,000 in HIMARS ammunition and reconnaissance operation, achieving return on investment of 87-1, demonstrating extreme cost-effectiveness of precision strike against high-value command target. This happened 1 week ago, when Ukrainian forces eliminated Russian battalion command in single strike. Russian battalion continues operating with reconstituted command staff, but effectiveness remains degraded. Tactical implications of Ukrainian ability to locate and destroy command posts continue affecting Russian headquarters security with increased emphasis on dispersion and camouflage. This is what occurred when Ukrainian drone operator noticed unusual activity, when intelligence confirmed high-value target, when HIMARS precision strike eliminated entire Russian battalion command staff in single engagement. Command post operations represent critical military function. Headquarters coordinates tactical operations, processes intelligence information, allocates supporting fires and logistics, maintains communications with higher command and subordinate units. Effective command post requires concentration of personnel and equipment, creating inherent vulnerability. Many officers and specialists working in single location. Communications equipment creating electromagnetic signatures. Vehicle movement revealing headquarters location. Protecting command posts requires balancing operational effectiveness against security. Dispersed command elements improve survivability but degrade coordination efficiency. Ukrainian drone reconnaissance mission commenced at 1400 hours with quadcopter launch from concealed position. Flight plan called for route-following terrain features, avoiding Russian air defense systems, maintaining altitude, minimizing visual and acoustic detection, conducting surveillance of assigned sector documenting Russian activity. Drone carried high-definition camera with digital zoom capability, enabling detailed observation from safe distances. Ukrainian drone operator followed planned route observing Russian positions and activities. Most observations were routine, occasional vehicle movements, soldiers at defensive positions, logistics convoys. At 14:27, operator noticed unusual concentration of activity around school building in small town. Multiple military vehicles were parked near building, more than typical for administrative location. Several communications antennas were visible on roof, indicating significant radio equipment inside. Soldiers were moving between vehicles and building with apparent purpose. Not random garrison activity, but organized operations. Operator marked location coordinates using drone GPS navigation and captured detailed video footage of building and surrounding area. Observation continued for 18 minutes, documenting vehicle types, counting personnel movements, identifying distinguishing features. Operator assessed activity pattern was consistent with command post operations. Concentration of staff officers, communications equipment, planning activities. Assessment was transmitted to Ukrainian military intelligence for analysis. Ukrainian military intelligence received drone footage and coordinates at 1450. Intelligence analysts examined video comparing observed activity against known Russian command post signatures. Analysis confirmed assessment. Building exhibited characteristics of battalion-level headquarters. Appropriate vehicle types, including command vehicle and communications trucks. Staff officer movement patterns. Antenna configurations matching known Russian battalion communication systems. Intelligence conclusion. Building housed Russian battalion command post with high probability containing battalion commander and primary staff. Debate starter. Should high-value targets like command posts be struck immediately upon discovery, or should they be monitored for intelligence gathering? Type strike now or monitor first. Target validation proceeded rapidly. Intelligence officers cross-referenced building location with known Russian unit dispositions, identifying which battalion likely operated from site. Signals intelligence monitoring Russian radio communications detected transmissions originating from building coordinates consistent with battalion command net. Satellite imagery from previous day showed same vehicle pattern around building, providing confirmation of ongoing headquarters occupation. Ukrainian command authorized immediate strike at 15:47, 1 hour 20 minutes after initial drone detection. Authorization was based on assessment that target value justified ammunition expenditure. Location was within HIMARS range from available launcher positions. Timing was optimal with high probability command staff was present during working hours. 3 F-31 GPS-guided rockets were allocated, providing redundancy, ensuring target destruction even if one rocket malfunctioned. Ukrainian HIMARS launcher, positioned 31 kilometers from target, received fire mission at 1550. Crew prepared rockets for launch, verifying GPS coordinates programmed into rocket guidance systems, confirming launcher alignment and stability, conducting final system checks. Launch sequence was initiated at 1554, with 3 rockets firing in rapid succession. 5-second intervals between launches. M31 rockets accelerated rapidly, reaching supersonic velocity. Flight time from launch to target was approximately 4 minutes at 31-kilometer range. Rockets followed ballistic trajectory initially, then adjusted course during terminal phase using GPS guidance, correcting toward programmed coordinates with high precision. Russian forces at headquarters building had no warning of incoming strike. Rockets produced minimal acoustic signature during supersonic flight. Building lacked air defense systems. Attack came from unexpected direction. First rocket impacted building at 15:58, 37 seconds, striking roof section above main command center room. 200-pound high-explosive warhead detonated, creating massive blast, destroying roof structure and interior walls. Second rocket impacted 2 seconds later, striking building facade near communications room. Explosion demolished wall section and destroyed equipment inside. Third rocket impacted building rear section 4 seconds after second, completing building destruction with final blast collapsing remaining structure. Building collapsed into rubble within 10 seconds of third rocket impact. 2-story structure was reduced to pile of broken concrete, twisted steel reinforcement, shattered roof tiles. 34 Russian officers inside building were killed, victims of blast effects, building collapse, or both. Death was immediate, no time for warning, no opportunity for escape, no survivors from headquarters staff. Russian soldiers outside building during strike witnessed catastrophic destruction. Guards posted at building perimeter survived blast but were traumatized watching headquarters destroyed. Communications specialist working outside building rushed toward rubble attempting to locate survivors, finding only bodies and debris. Senior sergeant, highest-ranking survivor from battalion staff, attempted organizing rescue but recognized futility. Building was completely collapsed with no possibility of survivors trapped in rubble. Quiz: how long can military unit effectively operate after losing entire command staff? A. Hours before chaos. B. 1–2 days with degraded effectiveness. C. Weeks if subordinates are competent. Answer at minute 16. Russian battalion faced immediate command crisis. Entire command staff was dead. Battalion commander and all primary staff officers eliminated simultaneously. Subordinate company commanders were scattered across sector at forward positions. No single officer had complete picture of battalion operations. Senior surviving officer was captain commanding rifle company, experienced in company-level operations but lacking training or authority for battalion command. First hours after headquarters destruction were chaotic. Company commanders learned of strike through fragmented radio reports, incomplete information, creating confusion about casualties and command status. Senior captain attempted assuming temporary battalion command but lacked access to operational plans, intelligence reports, logistics status, communications protocols normally managed by staff officers. Battalion operations effectively halted. No new orders issued. Ongoing operations continued on momentum without updated guidance. Russian regiment headquarters, next command level above destroyed battalion, learned of strike within 2 hours. Regiment commander ordered temporary command arrangements, assigning operations officer to oversee battalion until replacement commander could be appointed. However, temporary commander was 40 kilometers distant at regiment headquarters, unable to physically present at battalion positions. Regiment staff attempted remote command, but lacked detailed knowledge of battalion situation and capabilities. Day 1 through Day 6 after headquarters, destruction saw Russian battalion operating with severely degraded effectiveness. 2 planned operations were cancelled. Battalion lacked command capability to coordinate complex attacks requiring synchronization between companies, artillery support, logistics sustainment. Defensive operations continued but were reactive, responding to Ukrainian actions rather than implementing proactive tactical plans. Intelligence collection ceased. Without intelligence officer analyzing information, battalion had no processed understanding of Ukrainian dispositions and intentions. Ukrainian forces exploited Russian command disruption. Artillery strikes targeted Russian positions, receiving no coordinated counter-battery response. Normal procedure required battalion staff coordinating counterfire, but staff was dead. Limited Ukrainian probe attacks assessed Russian defensive strength, finding disorganized response indicating command problems. Information about Russian command destruction was shared with adjacent Ukrainian units, enabling coordinated pressure across sector. Day 6, Russian regiment finally reconstituted battalion command with newly assigned commander and partially assembled staff. New commander was major, promoted from company commander position. Competent tactically but inexperienced at battalion level. Staff consisted of officers reassigned from regiment headquarters and other battalions. None had worked together previously. Unit cohesion was zero. Replacement command faced enormous challenges. Learning battalion situation, establishing procedures, rebuilding staff relationships, restoring combat effectiveness. Process required weeks. Here's the financial breakdown of one HIMARS strike that destroyed Russian battalion command. Economic analysis revealed concentrated high-value casualties from single strike. 34 Russian officers killed represented substantial training investment. Officer training costs varied by rank. Junior officers required 5 years military education, costing approximately $120,000. Senior captains and majors required 7 years, costing $180,000. Lieutenant Colonel Battalion Commander required 15 years career development, costing $280,000. Casualty breakdown: 1 Lieutenant Colonel at $180,000, 3 Majors at $180,000 each totaling $540,000, 7 Captains at $150,000 each totaling $1,050,000, 23 Junior Officers averaging $120,000 totaling $2,760,000. Combined training investment, $4,630,000 lost. Death benefits, 34 officers at $50,000, each totaling $1,700,000. Government obligations. Operational failure costs exceeded personnel losses. 2 cancelled operations represented wasted planning, logistics preparation, and lost tactical opportunities. First operation was planned assault on Ukrainian positions. Cancellation meant Ukrainian forces maintained defensive line without being contested. Second operation was counterattack against Ukrainian penetration. Cancellation allowed Ukrainian forces to consolidate gains. Estimated cost of failed operations: $35 million in lost objectives and strategic disadvantage. Battalion effectiveness degradation during 6-day command void created additional costs. Reduced operations tempo meant Russian forces ceded initiative to Ukrainian opponents. Inability to coordinate fire support resulted in increased casualties from Ukrainian artillery. Lack of intelligence analysis prevented Russian forces from anticipating Ukrainian actions. Estimated cost of degraded effectiveness: $3 million in increased casualties and lost opportunities. Combined Russian losses, $44.33 million, including personnel, operational failures, and effectiveness degradation. Ukrainian strike costs: 3 M31 rockets at $168,000, each totaling $504,000. Reconnaissance drone operation costs were negligible, existing asset performing routine mission with minimal incremental cost. Total Ukrainian costs, $504,000, achieving $44 million Russian loss. Return on investment, 87.3 to 1, demonstrating extraordinary cost-effectiveness of precision strike against concentrated high-value target. Strategic implications: validated targeting doctrine, prioritizing command posts. Single strike eliminating entire battalion command staff created effects far exceeding destruction of equivalent value in vehicles or fortifications. Officers represented irreplaceable specialists. Years of training and experience lost permanently. Command void created cascading failures. Operations cancelled, coordination degraded, effectiveness reduced across all battalion functions. Lesson was clear: destroying enemy command creates disproportionate impact relative to other target categories. Tactical adjustments by Russian forces attempted reducing command vulnerability. Doctrine was revised prohibiting concentration of entire command staff in single location, requiring dispersion with primary and alternate command posts separated. Communication security was emphasized, reducing radio emissions, revealing command locations. Command post sighting criteria were updated, avoiding prominent buildings, using camouflage, limiting visible activity. Mobile command posts were employed more frequently, operating from vehicles enabling rapid relocation. However, fundamental tension remained between command effectiveness and security. Dispersed command improved survivability but degraded coordination efficiency. Reduced communications improved security but limited command responsiveness. Mobile operations prevented targeting but created fatigue and reduced staff productivity. Russian forces faced difficult trade-offs with no perfect solution. Ukrainian forces expanded reconnaissance emphasis on command post detection. Additional drones were allocated to rear area surveillance. Intelligence analysts developed refined signatures for identifying command locations, vehicle patterns, communications activity, personnel behaviors. Target prioritization guidance elevated command posts above most other target categories. Success of battalion headquarters strike-validated approach, creating incentive for continued emphasis. International military observers noted strike as example of sensor-to-shooter integration. Reconnaissance drone detected target. Intelligence validated target identity. Precision strike system engaged target. Effects assessment confirmed destruction. Entire cycle completed in 98 minutes from detection to engagement. Speed and precision demonstrated modern warfare capability, where high-value targets can be destroyed rapidly after identification. This is Ukrainian precision strike doctrine, where drone operators' attention finds 34 Russian officers, where 3 HIMARS rockets destroy entire battalion command, where $504,000 eliminates $44 million in Russian capability. Russian battalion learned that concentrating command staff creates vulnerability. 1 Ukrainian strike killed everyone. 6 days without orders. 2 operations failed. Command matters. How should Russian forces protect command posts from Ukrainian precision strikes? Comment your headquarters' security strategy.